Hey, have you ever noticed how some people just can't handle a Sigma female's energy? Why do you think that is? Well, today we're going to talk about the top 10 reasons people feel intimidated by Sigma females like you. Let's dive in. Point number 1. You don't follow the crowd. Sigma females have a unique ability to think for themselves. You don't feel the need to follow trends or do what everyone else is doing. Instead, you trust your own instincts and make decisions based on what feels right for you. This makes you stand out in a world where many people are just trying to fit in. You're not afraid to be different, and that can be intimidating to others. A lot of people feel safe in groups, where they can blend in and avoid standing out. But a Sigma female doesn't seek comfort in the crowd. You don't need to follow others to feel secure. Your self-confidence comes from within, not from the approval of others. This independence can be both inspiring and unsettling to some people. They might wonder how you can be so sure of yourself when everyone else is just going along with what's popular. What makes this even more powerful is that you don't try to force your way of thinking onto others. You don't care if people agree with you or not. You simply live life on your terms. And that freedom is something many people wish they had. It can make them feel uncomfortable because they see in you the courage to be yourself, even when it's not the easiest path. By refusing to follow the crowd, you show others that it's okay to be different. Some will admire you for it, but others may feel intimidated because they can't understand how you do it. In a world that often pressures people to conform, you choose to stand out. And that's what makes you truly powerful. Point number 2. You are mysterious. One of the most intriguing things about Sigma females is your sense of mystery. You don't reveal everything about yourself right away. In fact, you like to keep certain parts of your life private. This makes people curious, but at the same time, it can make them feel a little nervous. They don't always know what you're thinking or feeling, and that can be intimidating. Unlike many people who overshare, you choose your words carefully. You're not the type to talk just for the sake of talking. When you speak, it's meaningful, and people listen. But because you don't reveal too much, others are often left wondering what's going on beneath the surface. This mystery can be powerful, as it keeps people guessing and draws them in. They want to know more about you, but you only share what you feel comfortable with. Some people might feel uneasy because they can't figure you out. They're used to people being open books, but you keep your cards close to your chest. Your ability to control how much you reveal makes others feel like they don't fully know you, even if they've known you for a long time. This keeps them on their toes, and that unpredictability can be a little unsettling for those who prefer things to be straightforward. But your mystery isn't just about keeping secrets. It's also about having depth. You're not someone who wears all their emotions on their sleeve. You have layers, and only the people you truly trust get to see all sides of you. This makes you even more fascinating, as people have to earn the right to see the real you. In a world that values instant gratification and oversharing, your mysterious nature stands out. Some may be drawn to it, while others may find it intimidating because they simply can't crack your code. Point number 3. You're independent. One of the core traits of a Sigma female is your strong sense of independence. You don't rely on others to make you happy or to define your worth. You know who you are, and you're comfortable being alone when you need to be. This self-reliance can be empowering for you, but it can also be intimidating for others who don't understand how you manage to thrive without constantly leaning on someone else. In a world where many people feel the need to be part of a group or seek validation from others, you stand out. You don't need approval from others to feel good about yourself, and that can be confusing for some. They might wonder how you manage to be so self-sufficient, and it might even make them feel a bit insecure. Some people rely heavily on their relationships, friendships, or social circles to feel complete, but you've found that fulfillment within yourself. Your independence doesn't mean you don't care about other people. You still value your relationships, but you don't depend on them to define who you are. This ability to balance your personal space with your connections is something that many admire, but also find challenging to understand. It's not that you're distant or cold, you simply know how to take care of yourself first. That's a rare quality and can make some people feel uneasy because they don't have that same inner strength. People might also feel intimidated because your independence can sometimes make them question their own. They may wonder why they can't feel as comfortable being on their own as you do. They may also worry that if they get too close to you, they might not be able to keep up with your level of self-reliance. In the end, your independence is a sign of your strength and confidence. You know how to stand on your own 2 feet, and that makes you powerful. While some may find it intimidating, it's also what makes you a Sigma female, capable, confident, and in control of your own life. Point number 4. You speak your mind. As a Sigma female, one of your most powerful traits is your ability to speak your mind. You're not someone who hides their thoughts or stays quiet just to please others. When you have something to say, you say it with confidence, and you don't sugarcoat your words to make them more comfortable for others. This honesty can be refreshing, but it can also be intimidating for people who aren't used to that level of directness. Many people are afraid to speak up because they worry about how others will react. They might avoid conflict or hold back their true feelings in order to keep the peace. But not you. You're not afraid of being misunderstood or disliked for speaking your truth. You believe in being authentic, even if it means having uncomfortable conversations. This boldness can catch people off guard, especially those who are used to more passive or indirect communication. Your straightforward nature shows that you value honesty and transparency. You don't play games or manipulate situations with half-truths. This makes you someone that people can trust, because they know you'll always give them the real deal. However, for some, this level of truthfulness can be intimidating. Not everyone is prepared to hear the truth, especially when it challenges their own beliefs or behavior. People may also feel uneasy because when you speak your mind, it forces them to reflect on their own thoughts and actions. Your direct approach leaves little room for pretending or avoiding difficult topics, which can make some people feel vulnerable or exposed. They might not be ready to deal with the truths that you bring to the surface. But despite this, your ability to speak up is one of your greatest strengths. It shows that you're confident in who you are and unafraid of standing up for what you believe in. While some might find this intimidating, others will admire you for your courage and honesty. Speaking your mind is what sets you apart from the crowd and makes you a true Sigma female, authentic, bold, and fearless. Point number 5. You set high standards. As a Sigma female, you know your worth and refuse to settle for less than you deserve. Whether it's in relationships, your career, or your personal goals, you hold yourself to high standards, and you expect the same from others. This can be intimidating for people who aren't used to being challenged to meet those expectations, especially when they're more comfortable with mediocrity or half-hearted effort. In your relationships, you don't accept just anyone into your life. You're selective about who you allow into your inner circle because you value quality over quantity. You want meaningful connections, not surface-level relationships. This means that people have to prove themselves worthy of your time and energy, and that can make some feel uneasy. They realize that you won't tolerate dishonesty, disrespect, or laziness. If they can't rise to your level, they know they won't have a place in your life. In your career or personal achievements, your high standards push you to excel. You don't settle for good enough because you're always striving for the best. This level of ambition can make others feel intimidated because they might not share the same drive. While some people are content to coast through life, you're constantly setting new goals and challenging yourself to grow. Your determination and work ethic can make others feel like they're not doing enough, which might make them uncomfortable. Some people may even feel pressured by your high standards because they know that meeting them requires effort. It's not easy to be around someone who refuses to settle, especially if they're used to getting by with minimal effort. But your high standards aren't about being difficult or demanding. They're about knowing what you deserve and not accepting less. You believe in surrounding yourself with people and experiences that enrich your life, not drain it. By setting high standards, you show the world that you value yourself. You know what you bring to the table, and you expect others to match that energy. While this may intimidate some, it's also what sets you apart. You inspire others to aim higher, even if they find it challenging. In the end, your high standards are a reflection of your confidence, self-respect, and desire for a life of quality and fulfillment, traits that define you as a Sigma female. Point number 6. You are confident, not cocky. As a Sigma female, you have a quiet, calm confidence that sets you apart from the rest. Your confidence isn't loud or boastful, but it's undeniable. You don't need to announce your strengths or seek validation from others because you already know your worth. This type of self-assurance can be very intimidating for some people, especially those who mistake your confidence for arrogance. What makes your confidence unique is that it doesn't rely on external praise or attention. You're not trying to impress others, and you don't feel the need to prove yourself. You're simply secure in who you are, and that's where your strength comes from. People often confuse confidence with cockiness, but there's a big difference. Cockiness is about trying to show off or make others feel small, while confidence is simply being comfortable in your own skin without needing approval. When you walk into a room, you don't need to be the loudest or most noticeable person, yet people still feel your presence. That's the power of your confidence. Others can sense that you're in control of your life and that you're comfortable being yourself, no matter who's watching. This quiet confidence can make some people feel uneasy because they can't quite figure out how you're so self-assured without needing constant validation. For some, your confidence may highlight their own insecurities. When they see how calm and composed you are, it can make them question their own self-worth. They may wonder why they need external praise to feel good about themselves, while you seem to thrive without it. This can be intimidating because your confidence reminds them of the areas where they might not feel as secure. What's also intimidating is that your confidence allows you to set clear boundaries and stand up for yourself. You're not afraid to say no when something doesn't align with your values or goals. This can catch people off guard, especially if they're used to others being more agreeable or seeking approval. But your confidence isn't about being difficult. It's about knowing what's best for you and not compromising on your worth. In the end, your confidence is what makes you a Sigma female. It's not about showing off or making others feel less. It's about being sure of yourself and not needing to compare yourself to anyone else. This type of confidence is rare, and while it might intimidate some, it's what makes you stand out. Your quiet strength inspires others to embrace their own self-worth, even if they find it hard to understand at first. Point number 7. You value your alone time. As a Sigma female, you cherish your alone time, and that's something that sets you apart from many others. While some people feel the need to be constantly surrounded by friends, family, or social activities, you find peace and strength in solitude. You don't rely on others for entertainment, comfort, or validation. Instead, you use your alone time to recharge, reflect, and grow. This ability to enjoy your own company can be intimidating to others who aren't as comfortable being by themselves. For many, being alone is something to be avoided. They might feel uneasy or lonely without constant interaction or validation from others. But for you, solitude isn't lonely. It's a time to reconnect with yourself. Whether it's reading a book, pursuing a hobby, going for a walk, or just thinking you know how to make the most of that time. This independence can make others feel a bit insecure, especially if they rely heavily on external stimulation to feel fulfilled. Your need for alone time shows that you are self-sufficient and confident in who you are. You don't need constant social validation to feel good about yourself. You know that spending time alone helps you better understand your goals, thoughts, and emotions. This self-awareness makes you stronger and more focused, which can intimidate those who feel they need to be constantly surrounded by people to feel grounded. People might also feel uncomfortable with how you prioritize your personal space and boundaries. You're not afraid to decline social invitations or take time away from others when you need it, and this can sometimes be misunderstood as being distant or uninterested. In reality, it's just that you understand the importance of balance. You know that you can't give your best to others if you haven't taken the time to care for yourself first. This level of self-care and independence is something many people admire, but it can also be challenging for those who don't understand it. Your ability to enjoy being alone also makes you less dependent on external relationships. While you still value your connections with others, you don't rely on them for your sense of happiness or self-worth. This can be intimidating for people who feel a constant need to be validated by their social circles. They might wonder how you can be so content without always needing someone around. In a world that often encourages constant social interaction and busyness, your love for solitude stands out. It shows that you are comfortable with yourself and that you don't need to be constantly entertained or validated by others. While this might intimidate some, it's also what makes you strong, focused, and in tune with who you are. Your alone time is a source of strength, and it's part of what makes you a true Sigma female, independent, self-assured, and perfectly content in your own company. Point number 8. You're not easily impressed. As a Sigma female, you have a natural ability to see beyond the surface. You're not easily swayed by flashy displays or shallow achievements. While many people might be impressed by material wealth, social status, or trendy lifestyles, you look for deeper meaning and authenticity. This trait can be intimidating to others because it shows that you can't be won over with superficial things. You require substance. In a world where many people are quick to follow the latest trends or admire things just because they seem popular, you take a different approach. You don't get caught up in appearances or what society deems as impressive. Instead, you're more interested in a person's character, their values, and the depth of their thoughts. You appreciate genuine connections and are drawn to meaningful conversations and experiences. This ability to see through the shallow aspects of life can make some people feel uncomfortable, especially if they're used to being praised for things that don't really matter in the long run. People might try to impress you with status symbols like expensive cars, designer clothes, or large social media followings, but you remain unfazed. You know that true worth isn't measured by these things. Instead, you value intelligence, kindness, and authenticity. This can make others feel insecure because they realize that winning your approval requires more than just showing off material success. They have to show depth, which is something not everyone is used to doing. Your ability to stay unimpressed by the shallow things in life shows that you have a strong sense of self and know what's truly important. You don't let others influence your opinions or values easily, and you don't follow the crowd just because it's the popular thing to do. This independence can be intimidating for people who are used to impressing others with surface-level qualities. They might not understand why you're not as easily swayed, and this can make them feel like they need to try harder to earn your respect. At the same time, being not easily impressed makes your approval more valuable. When you do admire or respect something, people know it's genuine. You're not someone who hands out compliments lightly, so when you appreciate something, it really means something. This makes others strive to be more authentic and meaningful in their interactions with you, even if they find it challenging. In relationships, your high standards can be especially intimidating. People quickly realize that you're not going to be won over by grand gestures or shallow displays of affection. You need real connection, deep conversation, and emotional honesty. This can make some people feel inadequate, especially if they're used to impressing others with surface-level charm. In the end, your ability to remain unimpressed by shallow things is a reflection of your depth and wisdom. It shows that you have a clear sense of what matters in life and that you're not easily distracted by what's trending or flashy. This is what makes you a true Sigma female. Someone who values depth, authenticity, and substance over appearances. While this might intimidate some, it's also what makes you admirable and respected. Point number 9. You don't seek validation from others. One of the defining traits of a Sigma female is that you don't seek validation from others. You're confident in who you are and don't rely on external approval to feel good about yourself. While many people measure their worth based on how others perceive them, you have a strong internal sense of self-worth that doesn't waver, regardless of what people think or say. This can be incredibly intimidating for others who depend on constant validation to feel secure. In today's world, where social media and external recognition play such a big role in people's lives, the ability to find validation from within is rare. Many people post online or share parts of their lives hoping for likes, comments, or approval from friends and strangers alike. They tie their self-esteem to how others react to their achievements, appearance, or opinions. But you don't play that game. You know that true confidence comes from within, not from the approval of others. Because you don't need external validation, you're able to make decisions based on what's best for you, not what will impress or please others. This makes you more authentic and true to yourself. You live according to your own standards, goals, and values, without feeling the need to conform to what others think you should be doing. This independence can make people feel uneasy, especially those who rely on others to guide their choices or boost their self-esteem. Your ability to be self-sufficient in terms of validation also makes you resilient. When someone criticizes you or disagrees with your choices, you don't let it shake you. You understand that not everyone will see things the way you do, and that's okay. You're confident in your path and trust your instincts. This kind of emotional independence can make others feel insecure because it highlights their own reliance on external opinions to feel good about themselves. Some people may even feel envious of your self-reliance, as they wish they could be as sure of themselves without needing constant reassurance from others. It can be intimidating for them to be around someone who is so secure in their identity and doesn't look to others for approval. Your self-assurance might also challenge their own insecurities, making them question why they need so much validation in comparison. By not seeking validation from others, you show that you're in control of your own happiness. You don't let external opinions dictate your mood, decisions, or self-worth. This can be both inspiring and intimidating to people who are still learning to trust themselves. They may admire your confidence, but feel overwhelmed by the idea of reaching that level of independence. In the end, your ability to validate yourself without seeking approval from others is one of your greatest strengths. It allows you to live authentically, make decisions with confidence, and stay true to your values without being swayed by external pressures. While this might intimidate some, it's also what makes you stand out as a Sigma female. Strong, independent, and unshakably confident in who you are. Point number 10. You are a natural leader, even when you don't try to be. One of the most powerful traits of a Sigma female is your natural ability to lead, even when you're not trying to. You don't seek the spotlight or crave leadership roles, but people naturally gravitate toward you because of your calm confidence, independence, and strong sense of self. You lead by example, not by force or dominance, and this quiet form of leadership can be both inspiring and intimidating to others. Unlike traditional leaders who might actively seek to take charge or command attention, you have a more subtle approach. You don't need to demand respect because you earn it through your actions and the way you carry yourself. People are drawn to your strength and wisdom, often looking to you for guidance, even when you're not in an official leadership position. Your ability to remain composed and level-headed in challenging situations makes others feel safe and trust your judgment. This natural leadership is rooted in your self-confidence, self-reliance, and clear understanding of your values. What makes your leadership style unique is that you don't feel the need to control or dominate others. Instead, you inspire people to think for themselves and make their own decisions. You empower those around you by showing them that they too can be independent and strong. Your leadership isn't about telling people what to do, it's about showing them what's possible. This can be intimidating for some because it challenges them to step up and take responsibility for their own lives, something not everyone is ready for. Another aspect of your leadership is that you don't rely on the traditional symbols of power to assert your influence. You don't need a title, a big platform, or a loud voice to be heard. Your influence comes from your quiet confidence and the respect you naturally command. This can be unsettling for people who are used to more forceful or obvious forms of leadership. They may find it difficult to understand how you manage to have such a strong presence without seeking attention or actively trying to lead. Because you lead by example, others may feel the pressure to improve themselves when they're around you. Your high standards, independence, and refusal to follow the crowd set a high bar for those who look up to you. This can make some people feel uncomfortable because they realize that being around you means they have to step up their game. It can be intimidating to be around someone who doesn't compromise on their values and expects the same from others. However, your leadership style is also deeply respected. People admire your ability to stay true to yourself and your principles, even when it's not the easiest path. They appreciate that you don't seek validation or approval and that you're confident in your decisions. This makes you a role model for those who are looking for a more authentic, self-assured way of living. In the end, your natural leadership is a reflection of your strength, confidence, and independence. You don't need to chase leadership roles or demand attention to have an impact. Your actions speak for themselves, and people are naturally drawn to you because of the way you live your life. While this might intimidate some, it's also what makes you a true Sigma female, someone who leads with quiet confidence, integrity, and a deep sense of purpose. So there you have it. 10 reasons why people might feel intimidated by you, a Sigma female. But remember, being yourself is your superpower. Don't ever shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow Sigma sisters. Let's keep empowering each other. Stay confident, stay strong, and stay Sigma.